Chapter 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, a guard ushered Luffy inside. Without a word, Luffy headed straight into the palace. The guard who'd stopped him earlier turned to his buddy, a puzzled look on his face. Wait, isn't that guy a pirate? Shoo. You're new here. That's the hero who took down Crocodile and escorted Princess Vivi back. Word is, she might not get married because of him. The guard nodded, finally understanding. Inside, Cobra approached Luffy, flanked by Bell and Ikelim, the Gaga. Luffy. Didn't expect to see you here. Luffy waved. Hey, uncle. Didn't tell you I was coming. Sorry to barge in. Luffy, you're here for Vivi, right? I've sent for her, she should be here any minute. Cobra was interrupted. A girl with sky-blue hair, wearing a princess dress, leaped into Luffy's arms. Luffy. Luffy patted her head, giving her a hug. Easy there, your dad's watching. Cobra glanced at Luffy, then at Vivi. Oh, he thought. Asterisk, my daughter's getting snatched. Oh well, as long as she's happy. Asterisk, Luffy's strong, and his name carries weight. Vivi could do worse, though their kid is definitely becoming king. Vivi, blushing, stepped back. Luffy seems different somehow. Cobra looked at Luffy, confused. Shouldn't you be in the new world right now? What brings you here? Luffy grinned. You'll find out when the newspaper hits. Vivi looked up at Luffy. How are Nami and everyone else? I haven't seen them since the war. What was that drawing on your arm? Vivi peppered him with questions, and Luffy patiently answered them all. Finally, Luffy turned to Cobra. Uncle, there's gonna be a big deal at the World Conference in 2 years. Don't go. Cobra was taken aback. He'd planned on attending, but Luffy's words gave him pause. He decided to hold off, which ultimately led to him receiving the information about Luffy being on Onigashima and avoiding his supposed death. After a while, Vivi dragged Luffy off to her room. You don't just go into a lady's room casually. If a girl lets you enter her boudoir casually, then congratulations, you are one step closer to winning this girl's heart. Cobra was eavesdropping outside the door. Cobra hoped that Vivi could be bolder and directly win Luffy. Although Luffy was going to take risks, he didn't want Vivi to be sad because she married someone she didn't want to marry. Tell me everything that's happened since we split up. Vivi's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Okay, let's start with when Robin joined the crew. Luffy started his tale. Vivi listened, wide-eyed with fear. By the time he got to the part where they were all scattered, she understood that Luffy wasn't invincible. He could fail. That's why he needed to get stronger. Luffy gazed at Vivi, an undeniable desire burning in his eyes. He couldn't resist any longer and kissed Vivi's red lips directly. His hands climbed onto Vivi's breasts. Luffy, don't. Vivi's eyes gradually blurred, and she took the initiative to hug Luffy's neck. Next, it was membership time. The voice from the room made Cobra feel relieved, and he could abdicate soon. He walked away slowly. The next morning, Luffy looked at Vivi, who was holding him like an octopus, and kissed the tears on her face that had not yet dried. Last night was crazy. System, sign in. Ding. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the world skill of Death God, Mirror Flower and Water Moon. Luffy stared at this skill in a daze. Luffy may not be able to surpass Aizen with this skill. Because it was not Mirror Flower and Water Moon that made Aizen, but Aizen who made Mirror Flower and Water Moon. Luffy was in a good mood, kissed Vivi's face twice, and fell asleep holding her. It was not until noon that the two woke up slowly. Wei looked at Luffy's strong muscles and turned her head away shyly. Luffy, you are leaving, right? Of course Luffy is leaving. He has already done. It's been a long time. If I don't go back, Rayleigh will be angry. He said to Vivi, don't worry, I will come back to see you during the next 2 years of training. Vivi nodded and wanted to get out of bed, but suddenly there was a pain below, and she looked at Luffy with resentment. Really, he is just like an animal. Luffy scratched his head embarrassedly and carried Vivi out. He planned to stay for 2 more days. As for Rayleigh, a mediocre teacher, don't interfere with my wife and I. The morning papers were full of Luffy again. New kid on the block versus Golden Lion Shiki. Straw Hat spotted in the East Blue. End of an era, Golden Lion's last stand. World government secrets and the Gum Gum fruit. Who really runs the world? The king of the world? Straw Hat Luffy eats another devil fruit. Morgan's had a hand in most of them, infuriating the 5 elders. But who cares about their feelings? He's the news king. Supernovas and veteran pirates alike saw the headlines, kid. Ha ha ha. Straw Hat's kicking things off. Facing a legend right out of the gate, huh, Bonnie. Luffy, stay safe. Law. Straw Hat's really something else. Looking forward to our next meeting. Doflamingo. That kid's getting scary. Crocodile. He went to the East Blue to fight the Golden Lion. Looks like it. Ace. When did Luffy get so strong? Empress. Luffy, come home soon. Me and my sisters miss you terribly. Hawkeye. So, it begins. Blackbeard. Zihahaha. That Straw Hat punk. Let's go get ready to seize Beehive Island. The 4 emperors, Big Mom. Shiki's gone. Beaten by a little whelp. Getting old, Shiki, old. Kaido. La 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 la. That Straw Hat's Joy Boy. Guess we gotta fight him next. His bounty was changed to the image of the sun god, 2, red hair. Luffy, what's next for you? A break, or full speed ahead? Chapter 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. They were super tight. Luffy chilled in Alabasta for an extra day before hitting the road, leaving Vivi bummed out. She wiped her eyes and headed back to the palace. Luffy didn't waste any time and bounced straight back to Amazon Lily. When Hancock saw him, she went full-on sprint mode. Bonnie and Yuta were about to join the love fest, but Hancock planted a big one right on Luffy. After a hug with the Empress, Luffy made sure to give Yuta and Bonnie some love too, planting a deep kiss on each. They happily returned the favor. Rayleigh chose the absolute worst moment to show up. Alright, Luffy, you can get cozy with your girls later. Let's roll. We're already behind schedule. Oh, and Luffy's new bounty is 2 billion berries. The 3 women shot daggers at Rayleigh. They were obviously missing Luffy like crazy, and this old geezer was harshaing their mellow. Hancock pinched Rayleigh's nose, clearly annoyed. Rayleigh, Luffy just got back from a battle. He needs some RR. Luffy shook his head, looking defeated. It's cool, I'm just going to train, not saying goodbye for good. Besides, you can always swing by the island to see me when you're free. Little did Luffy know, Hancock considered free time to be a full-time occupation. Next up, Luffy followed Rayleigh to that deserted island we all know and love. Luffy, you've nailed the basics of hockey, so I'm gonna teach you the next level. In Wano country, they call it Ryu Sakura. It's like an invisible armor you can put around yourself, or wrap around a weapon to hurt someone without even touching them. To Rayleigh's utter astonishment, Luffy cranked his hockey up to the 3rd stage of advanced armament hockey in just 6 months. During this time, Luffy also squashed Bondi Wald again. Since they had to keep it on the down low, it accidentally gave Buggy a boost. Luffy didn't sweat it. Luffy also got Rayleigh to teach him some swordplay. Rayleigh wasn't the best hockey instructor, but he knew his way around a blade. After another 6 months, Rayleigh packed it in, leaving Luffy alone on the island. He'd passed on everything he could. Plus, he couldn't bear to interrupt Luffy's sweet time with his girls any longer. Meanwhile, Hancock was teaching Yuta and Bonnie hockey, and Yuta was doing live shows via Den Den Mushi, racking up fans worldwide, including the Straw Hat crew. Fast forward a year and a half, and Luffy had become the king of his own little deserted island. The promised time had come. He and his 2 wives were heading to the Sabaody archipelago. He'd done everything a guy could do with 2 women in 2 years. But what he didn't see coming was Bonnie's actual age. Let's just leave it at that. I don't know if I can say that here. I wonder if Kuma regretted letting him run wild after finding that out. Luffy finally fired up his system panel after ages. Name, Monkey D, Luffy.age, 19. Hockey, Advanced, all 3 types. Devil Fruits, Mythical Zoan Human Fruit, Model, Nika, Mythical Zoan Human Fruit, Model, Moon Goddess, Natural Type Star Fruit, Paramecia Type Tremor Fruit. Weapons. Famous Sword Sakura 10, Famous Sword Deadwood. Swordsmanship, Thunderfall / Ikemonji / Flash, Sword Storm. Black Sword, 3 Moons. Other World Skills, 18 Subduing Dragon Palms, Impure World Reincarnation, Flying Thunder God Technique, Heavenly Shock Star, Chibaku Tensei, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Bankai, Mirror Flower, Water Moon, Domain Expansion, Infinite Space, Flame Breathing 13 Forms, etc. Dragon Ball's power level is too high. Not considered. Looking at the panel, Luffy realized he wouldn't need to use Flying Thunder God to dodge a Kaina next time. Luffy, Lady Hancock and the other 2 ladies are waiting for you. A voice broke Luffy's train of thought. It was Hancock's sisters and Daisy. Daisy was the first girl Luffy met on Amazon Lily, and she secretly fell for him. But when Hancock snagged him, Daisy had to bury those feelings deep down. Hold up a sec, I wanna say goodbye to these guys. Luffy gestured to the massive animals behind him. He'd become their king over the last 2 years. They were sad to see him go, but they had no say in the matter. Soon enough, Luffy joined the 3 women. They were all glowing, clearly well taken care of. Yeah, Luffy and the ladies had a wild night before hitting the road. Meanwhile, Sabayati Archipelago. Shaki's ripoff bar. Wow, 2 years have already flown by. Time sure zips. Shaki slid a glass of juice to Rayleigh. She was missing that little monkey a bit. Yeah. I wonder how everyone's doing now. It's gonna be interesting. Humph, you're too optimistic. I don't even know if they can all get here safely. They're famous all over the world, after all. Rayleigh swirled the wine in his glass, then took a swig, bang, the door swung open. Oh. Shaki seemed surprised. Well, look who's here. You're the first one. Rayleigh was also a little shocked. The last person you'd expect to show up first had actually made it. The green-haired guy standing in the doorway, 3 swords strapped to his waist, flashed a confident, slightly annoyed grin. What, nobody else is here yet? Figures. A few days later. Luffy, ladies, remember to lay low and not blow our cover. Luffy's identity is a hot potato. Hancock was giving them a serious talking to, her eyes full of reluctance. Luffy stepped up and kissed her. Got it. I'll see you soon. With that, Luffy, Yuta, and Bonnie stepped into the Sabayati Archipelago. They didn't head straight for the Sunny, though. They made a beeline for a tavern. Did you hear the Navy moved their headquarters? A girl with wavy orange hair asked the bartender. Really? Yeah, they switched places with the G1 branch across the Red Line. The new fleet admiral did that to show how serious he is after taking over for Sengoku. He set up shop in the New World, where the 4 emperors run wild. But honestly, it's weakened the Navy's rep, and this island's gotten even more lawless. No wonder the town feels even more chaotic than it did 2 years ago. A voice from the side grabbed the girl's attention. Hey, have you seen this? I was shocked. I didn't think the Straw Hats were still kicking. Seriously? They vanished 2 years ago. Everyone thought they were fish food. Can you believe they're already trying to recruit new crew members? All the pirates who survived the first half of the Grand Line are flocking to this island. They're looking to beef up their crew and make a splash in the New World. The Straw Hats disappeared after their brawl with the Golden Lion. People said he was seriously hurt and needed to recover. That could be it. Just then, the tavern door burst open. A bunch of fake straw hat pirates swaggered in, and the tavern went dead silent. Everyone turned to stare at the new arrivals. "Hey, barkeep. Drinks for everyone. And food. Pile it on," but the girl glanced over and then went back to ignoring them. Chapter 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was heartbroken. "I've missed you so much, Shampoo. I'm finally here." A curly-browed blonde gazed at Shampoo, his emotions overwhelming him. Then, he completely lost it. "Whoa, it's a woman, a real woman. No doubt about it, the person in front of me is a genuine lady. The real lady I've been dreaming about lives on this island. Shampoo, I'm here." Everyone around him treated Sanji like a total nutjob and gave him a wide berth. "Sanji, this is where we part ways. I hate to see you go, but I know we'll meet again." Sanji shuddered at the sound of that voice. "I don't want to see you. Thanks for the ride. Say hi to Ivan and Xiao Feng for me. Goodbye." Manly Sanji, back from hell. You know, guys always say mean things to girls they like. Yeah, totally. Sanji, who was already far away, shivered in the tavern. Bang! A gunshot rang out, and a young man clutched his stomach and fell to the floor, writhing in pain. Huh? Did I hear that right? A 55 million belly bounty? Let me double-check the flyer. The minimum bounty we accept is 70 million. Captain won't take anything lower. The pig-faced guy in the straw hat was full of himself. Too bad you showed up here with such a low price on your head. Damn you. Get lost, trash. I'm the son of Dragon from the Revolutionary Army, so get out. The pig-faced straw hat waved a pistol, acting as tough as he could. After killing the pirate, Pighead Luffy looked at the orange-haired girl sitting alone near the bar. And that woman who's been sitting there all by herself, come on over here. You're top-shelf material. Heh heh heh. Pighead Straw Hat leered. He scowled when the girl ignored him. Hey, woman, are you deaf? He's talking to you, the bartender warned. No, I'm waiting for someone else, that caused a stir. The bartender even said, hey, you better listen to him. That Straw Hat Luffy, the crazy pirate who got mixed up in that war a couple of years back and took down Golden Lion. You know. The fake Straw Hat pirates laughed, saying the girl was waiting for someone who was too scared of Luffy's name to even show his face. The girl turned around and it was Nami. I'll say it again, you're not good enough to drink with me. Got it? I don't care who you're pretending to be. The pig-faced Straw Hat slammed the table, furious, and pointed the gun at Nami. Say I'm Straw Hat Luffy one more time. I dare you. TCH. A scornful voice came from outside the door. A guy in white walked in, followed by a girl in a white miniskirt and another girl in a pink dress. The fake Straw Hat ignored them and fired at Nami. But before the bullet reached her, it was caught between two fingers. It was the guy in white who had just walked in. Here you go. Luffy tossed the bullet back. It was faster and more powerful than before. The pig-faced Straw Hat dove for cover. After dodging, he was still arrogant. Asshole, do you know who I am? I'm the son of Dragon from the Revolutionary Army, the grandson of the hero Garp, and a pirate with a 2 billion belly bounty. You're too loud. The white-clad guy's eyes flashed red, and all the fake Straw Hats fainted, foaming at the mouth. Luffy looked at Nami, held up a finger, and conjured a silver-blue rose. Beautiful lady, would you do me the honor of sharing a drink with me? Nami was stunned. She stared at Luffy's face, then the next second, she had Luffy buried in her breasts. Luffy, it's really you. You've changed so much. Nami, you're getting bigger. I can't breathe. Luffy was a little breathless and hurried to say, Nami then noticed the two women behind Luffy and asked, confused, who are they? Oh, they're our new crewmates, Bonnie and Yuta, Luffy said with a smile. Hello. Bonnie and Yuta exchanged glances and each grabbed one of Luffy's arms, marking their territory. They knew if Nami got Luffy back, their status would probably take a hit. What are you doing? Nami looked at Luffy, puzzled. Ahem. Luffy was at a loss. Seeing this, Bonnie and Yuta kissed Luffy on the cheek. No way. Luffy, that idiot, is in love. But why does my heart suddenly hurt so much? Did I get Luffy wrong? Nami felt a strong sense of loss. Luffy seemed to sense Nami's feelings, pressed his straw hat onto Nami's head, and said, "You'll always be my navigator." That's not just talk. Nami was stunned, her face flushed, and she just grunted. She looked at Luffy, who was now taller than her, and felt an incredible sense of security. Hey, you guys should get out of here before they wake up, the bartender urged Luffy and his friends. Luffy glanced at the pig-faced straw hat and couldn't help saying, "He's so ugly." Do we really look like that? The three girls burst out laughing. Luffy looked at the bartender, tossed Nami's drink money on the counter, and dragged the fake straw hats outside. Just then, a long-nosed man approached the tavern door. Before anyone could see him, they heard his voice, "Hey, aren't you going to give me a hug?" But Nami just looked at him, and Luffy just stepped forward for a quick hug, without any over-the-top dramatics. He told Nami, "Nami, take Bonnie and Yuta back to the ship. I've got something to take care of." "No. Just go sail the ship." "No. We're the Straw Hat Pirates, sailing should be lively." Bonnie and Yuta exchanged a look, seeing the helplessness in each other's eyes. Luffy didn't wait for Nami to say anything. He quickly kissed her on the cheek and vanished. Nami stamped her foot in frustration. Luffy had gotten more shameless in the last couple of years. "A million belly bet says you're going to get it later. Just you wait, Luffy." Luffy didn't care about that. He was going to go meet Sentomaru. He didn't care about revealing his identity. Who was afraid of the Marines? If him showed up in person, he'd give him some respect. But the Marines? No way. So, Luffy decided to teach those ugly imposters a lesson. He'd show them that not just anyone could impersonate him. Chapter 34. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man seethed with anger. Despite his apparent youth, Luffy decided to teach those imposters a lesson, showing them they couldn't just go around pretending to be whoever they wanted. He tossed the cheap straw hat aside without a second glance, knowing it would be needed later. Navy G1 branch. Report. In the Sabaody Archipelago. What? The Straw Hats. Intel suggests they're gathering their crew on the island. Contact headquarters immediately. If that guy's still alive, this could be huge. Deploy all available forces. And intensify the search of the Sabaody Archipelago. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, on the Sunny. She's in perfect shape. Frankie, gazing at the ship he built, seemed surprised. Sorry to keep you waiting, Sunny. We're setting sail ASAP. As he spoke, a figure emerged from the ship, 13GR, Shaki's ripoff bar. Seriously? The first one here is that moron swordsman. This is gonna be a headache. Looks like our second start won't be smooth sailing, Sanji muttered, exasperated. Frankie actually arrived second, about 10 days ago, but he went back to the ship pretty quickly, Shaki said. The Sunny's okay, right? More than okay. It's already been coded, Rayleigh said, setting down his newspaper. Due to their serious injuries, both Duval and Hachi were heavily bandaged and needed a year to recover. Nami was the third to show up. Shaki's words snapped Sanji out of his serious mood. Ms. Nami? Where is she? Where is she now? Bored, so she went to the shopping district. Little Monkey and Usopp arrived on the same day, but Little Monkey headed straight for Nami instead of coming here. Chopper got here yesterday, and Brooks on the island holding a concert today. Concert? What's that? And then there's you. So Nico Robin's the only one left. Slipping onto this island unnoticed isn't easy. You guys are an amazing bunch. It's great that you all made it. Rayleigh gave them high praise. I'm surprised you personally guided Luffy. That kid must be seriously strong. It's been a year and a half since I've seen him. I'm looking forward to seeing how much he's grown. His talent is incredible. Whether it's hockey or swordsmanship, he's become a real force. Wait, he practices swordsmanship too. Yep. He looks quite different now. You might not even recognize him, Rayleigh said, shaking his head. Sanji, deciding to take care of the food situation first, asked around and found a fishing house. The fisherman there looked panicked. What's wrong? He's gone. That green-haired guy. After the owner explained, Sanji had a pretty good idea who it was. A deep scar marred his eye. Sanji pulled out Zoro's wanted poster. It was him. That idiot, thought before Sanji could finish his rant, something started bobbing up from the sea. On the pirate ship, the captain pointed an angry finger at a figure's back. You bastard. You just ruined our chances of reaching the new world. Everything is determined by freedom. If you want to blame someone, blame your bad luck for being on the same ship as the God of Calamity. Easy for you to say. Huh. I'm back. I got on the wrong ship. Zoro said calmly. Soon, Robin arrived at the Sunny. Ah, Sunny. Sorry for keeping you waiting these past 2 years. I'm so glad you're okay. Huh. Whoa. Isn't that our super archaeologist, Robin? From a distance, he seemed creepy. Up close, he was still creepy. Robin covered her mouth and chuckled. Frankie, you really haven't changed at all. I've changed a lot, you idiot. Nami and the others were out and about. Usopp wanted to buy weapon materials, while Nami was taking the 2 new members along to show them how to haggle. Yuta and Bonnie were blown away, claiming they had learned a lot. Usopp admitted that after 2 years, Nami's bargaining skills had only gotten better. 42 gr. Hey, Mosshead, try not to get lost. If you cause trouble, I'm the one who'll have to deal with it. Who are you calling Mosshead, Swirlybrow? What did you say, you jerk? However, Sanji lost Zoro in the blink of an eye. Nami and her friends, returning from their shopping trip, nearly collided with a galloping reindeer, muttering to himself. Meanwhile, Usopp spotted Chopper and called out, Hey, Chopper. Over here. Chopper froze, turned around, and saw Usopp, Nami, and 2 girls he didn't recognize. But Chopper immediately told them that the fake Robin had been caught. The 4 exchanged amused glances and explained to Chopper that Robin hadn't been caught by the government in 20 years. How could she be captured so easily now? So they're all fakes. That's why there are 2 Namis. Chopper was dumbfounded, and Bonnie hugged Chopper tightly, rubbing her cheek against his. Chopper was thrilled. After all, they were new friends. Usopp finally noticed Yuta at that moment. Hey, Yuta, your name is exactly the same as that singer, Yuta. That's me. Wait. The singer Yuta is now one of us. How did Luffy manage that? Usopp's eyes went wide. Nothing's impossible. Luffy and I were childhood friends. Even though we haven't seen each other in 10 years, he's still technically younger than me, so he should call me older sister, Yuta said with a smile. She was already excited about challenging the 4 emperors' territory. Wait, what did you say? ×3. I'm furious. How dare those guys impersonate us? Chopper exclaimed indignantly. Luffy already took care of that, Nami said with a sigh. There's no way we're going to sail quietly, is there? Nope. Not with Luffy, everyone sighed in unison. Seriously, don't you know how dangerous you are? Nami said, exasperated. Chopper and Usopp were already thinking about how to sign autographs. Except for Nami, the other 2 girls looked a little confused. Bonnie said with a twitch of her mouth, you guys really don't seem like pirates at all. Luffy put the big lunch bag in his inventory space, looked at the fake Zoro and Sanji in front of him, and decided to follow them. The two imposters recognized that this was the guy the captain wanted. Luffy followed them silently. But looking at their faces and thinking of the real Zoro and Sanji, Luffy couldn't help but feel amused. Chapter 35. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle was over. Nami, Rayleigh, and the others had already gathered on the ship, leaving only Brook and the big guys. GR number 46. Luffy tracked the imposters here. The fake, with his pig-like face and straw hat, acted all high and mighty. He grabbed a pistol and yelled, "All right, listen up. I found the guy who insulted me. And I found him fast. First, I'm gonna show this punk what happens when you mess with me, and I'm sending a message to all of you. This is what happens when you disobey me. Got it, people? That's it, pirates." A group of Marines showed up, surrounding the fake Straw Hat crew. Straw Hat Luffy and his gang. Surrender. All exits from GR number 46 are sealed. You're trapped. The pig-faced imposter ordered Caribou to use the Marines as human shields to break through, but Caribou, the backstabber, had other plans. He shot the communication officer instead. Luffy just sat back and watched the whole pathetic show. Honestly, except for Sentomaru, none of these clowns were worth his time. A free-for-all erupted, and the fake Straw Hat got pissed. They were ignoring his orders and fighting without permission. Seeing that his crew was actually pushing back the Marines, he decided to go all in. "Alright, listen up. Whoever takes down the most Marines in this fight gets promoted to officer." That the other members of the fake crew went nuts. "Officers, you say? What about us?" The pig-faced fake grinned. "Figure out a way to keep your spot. With a strong crew like you, I'll conquer the world." Just then, an explosion cut short the fake celebration. Luffy shot to his feet. "Pacifista. And Sentomaru." Pandemonium broke out. "A pacifista? How did the Navy's weapon get here?" "Confirmed, it's Straw Hat Luffy." The pacifista locked onto Luffy as soon as it entered the area. "Pacifista? Now this is interesting." One of the imposters, thinking he was tough stuff, attacked the pacifista and got blown away instantly. Seeing this, the pig-faced Luffy turned tail and ran. He tripped and fell. "You dare block my path?" Sentomaru glanced down at him. "Huh? Who are you?" The other pirates, realizing who Sentomaru was after, tried to shove the fake Straw Hat forward. "Take the lead, Straw Hat. Lead us to victory." Sentomaru looked confused. "Why are they calling you Straw Hat? Hey! You got any idea who I am? You don't want me to skin you alive, so get out of my way. You don't want to get scared to death." The pig-faced Luffy tried to drop some big names to intimidate Sentomaru. "I'm the son of the revolutionary dragon and the grandson of the hero Garp. 2 years ago, I fought in the war and defeated Golden Lion, the pirate with the 2 billion bounty. I'm Straw Hat." "Ah. Straw Hat isn't some loser like you." Sentomaru had enough. He raised his axe and smashed the fake Straw Hat into the ground. Luffy grinned. "Well, you're still as cute as ever, huh?" Sentomaru finally understood. So these guys got tricked into joining up with a fake. PX5, who's this guy? Pirate. A con artist. Demaro Black, bounty of 26 million berries. That set off an uproar. What? 26 million? This guy's a fake. That bastard. He lied about being Straw Hat Luffy and fooled all of us. He took advantage of Whitebeard's death to get away with anything. Damn it, I almost got tricked by some 20 million scrub. It's stupid enough to be a con man, but you guys are even bigger suckers for falling for it. Everyone, come with us, and coincidentally, the real Straw Hat is here too. PX5 detected him as soon as we entered. Target Straw Hat Luffy, PX5. Sentomaru gave the order. Luffy ate the meat in his hand and watched the pacifista. The pacifista fired 2 laser beams, but Luffy just casually dodged. Since his cover was blown, there was no need to hide anymore. Except for the hair, he's identical to the wanted poster, that the fake Straw Hat crew turned green with terror. That's the real Straw Hat, Luffy. Stay sharp. We're after the newbies. Straw Hat Boy. Sentomaru, long time no see. Here to see me off. How nice of you. Luffy's tone was mocking. Don't worry, you won't be setting sail. Unlike 2 years ago, I've officially joined the Marines. I'm arresting you now. PX-5, The pacifista fired 2 lasers again, and Luffy dodged again. He inflated his arm. Gear second. Gomu Gomu no jet pistol, The pacifista didn't have time to react and got blown to smithereens. Sentomaru was shocked. Sentomaru, thanks for taking care of that pig face for me. I didn't like him either. See you next time. I'm out of here. The other pirate's eyes popped out. He took out the pacifista in one shot. Don't run, Straw Hat Boy. Luffy. Hey, Luffy. So you're really Luffy after all. Why are you always causing trouble? And why have you become so handsome? Stay away from the ladies. Zoro and Sanji charged forward. Sanji was a little dazed when he saw Luffy. But he would talk about it later when he saw the pacifist flying over. Hey, Zoro and Sanji, long time no see. You two are still the best of frenemies. Luffy was happy to see them. Roronoa, Black Leg, they're still alive after all. PX-7. Sentomaru called in another pacifista. Ha! Get out of the way. ×2. I'll cut it to pieces. Zoro. I'll kick its neck off. Sanji. It's the Straw Hat Pirates. The real ones are here. They're nothing like those fakes. The pirates gawked at the bounty posters. Hey, Luffy, you're number 9. Shut up, quit showing off. Luffy's the 4th one here. And Luffy, stay away from the beautiful women. Oh, that means you're number 8. What are you talking about, bastard? Hey, Luffy, let's go. Everyone's waiting on the ship. Luffy looked at the rushing Marines and formed some seals with his hands. Fire style, exploding flames. A wall of fire erupted, blocking the Marines' advance. Luffy suddenly stopped and looked toward the mountaintop. Chapter 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle was over, the navy was momentarily pinned down by the gunfire. Luffy suddenly stopped, looking toward the mountain's peak. Confused, Zoro and Sanji turned to see an old, gray-haired man watching them. Rayleigh, the single word brought the navy to a standstill. Rayleigh smiled slightly. Just checking in. Looks like you've toughened up nicely. Now, get going and rejoin your crew. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Luffy declared, full of passion. What are you waiting for? Subdue that Straw Hat kid. A Marine officer barked. Luffy and the others took off running. Rayleigh, we're off. Thanks for everything. Rayleigh's eyes glistened as he remembered the last 6 months with Luffy. Yeah. Get to the top. The Straw Hat Pirates are heading towards GR number 42. Don't let them get away. A slash of sword energy flashed in front of the pursuing Marines, halting them in their tracks. The Marines knew they were outmatched. My apprentice is setting sail. I'd appreciate it if you didn't interfere. What's that supposed to mean? I wouldn't advise crossing him. Rayleigh said, a smirk playing on his lips. Luffy and the other two sprinted ahead, Sanji laden with groceries. Luffy also carried a huge backpack. Can't wait for Sanji's cooking, and for Bonnie and Yuta to try it too. Bonnie and Yuta? Didn't I tell you? Our new crewmates. Judging by the names, they must be hotties. Luffy, you're the best. There they are. We've got them. The Marines spotted Luffy and his crew before they could finish their conversation. Oh, surrounded, Zoro observed, glancing around. Guess we gotta fight our way out, Sanji sighed. Full-on assault. Luffy yelled. Ha ha ha. Eerie figures passed through the Marines, their wills broken. They dropped to their knees. I want to be a flea. I want to be a mite. I want to be a louse. Seeing this ability, Luffy and the others immediately thought of a familiar face. Hey, that's gotta be her. Ha ha ha. A petite woman appeared before them. Is that you guys? What a ruckus. Seriously. Still loafing around. Sanji's eyes turned into hearts. Whoa, you're the one I saw on Thriller Bark. I was gonna ask you, what are you still doing here? Zoro's bluntness left Luffy speechless. He seemed to have forgotten who she was completely. Is that how you talk to the benefactor who sent you here? If it wasn't for me, you'd still be. Know your place. Perona grumbled, realizing it was a thankless task. Zoro started sweating. Luffy stepped forward. Forget about him, Perona. You've gotten even prettier since Bond of old. See, your captain's not only handsome, but he knows how to give a compliment. You guys should take notes, Perona said, pointing at Zoro. Hey, why didn't you tell me you ran into Luffy? Why would I? Sanji practically glued himself to Perona. A real woman. A real woman, Perona recoiled. Of course. What's wrong with you? Anyway, you need to set sail, pronto. Warships are headed for this island. If you don't leave now, you're toast. As Sanji rambled on, he leaped forward, trying to hug Perona. She immediately hit him with a negative hollow. Seriously, Straw Hat Boy, can't you recruit some normal crewmates? I'm such a loser. Suddenly, Luffy felt a shadow pass over him. He looked up to see a giant bird with a reindeer sitting on its back. Finally found you. Hey, Chopper. Perona, we're heading out. See you around. Bye. Luffy recognized them instantly. If it's a date with you, then fine, but I never want to see those two again. Perona was a firm believer in looks. Don't say that. See ya. Gr number 42, Sunny. Yo-ho-ho-ho. A loud crash echoed as Brook appeared from behind the flying fish. Mr. Usopp, Ms. Nami, Little Robin, Sister, Mr. Frankie. I've missed you all, my friends. Brook landed on the Sunny, guitar in hand. You really can't let go of your celebrity status, huh? I'm impressed, Frankie said. Brook turned to Robin and Nami. You two are getting more and more beautiful. Miss Nami, after 2 years, would you allow me a peek at your panties again? Not a chance. Nami kicked Brook overboard. And I didn't let you see them 2 years ago either. The joy of reunion is so beautiful it makes my heart tremble, even though I don't have one. Yuta and Bonnie exchanged awkward glances. Nami, is he for real? I'm Brook, the dead guy who's all bones. You two are the new crewmates Luffy brought, according to the Flying Fish Riders. Beautiful ladies, if possible, could I see your... Before Brook could finish, Nami kicked him again. Don't scare the newcomers. Seriously, no progress at all. Oh, right. Looks like everyone's not here yet. Brook quickly recovered. Chopper went to get the others. Robin explained. Just then, the giant bird swooped overhead, and Luffy yelled, Hey, everyone. Long time no see. I brought them. Chopper announced proudly. Everyone on the Sunny gathered at the railing, laughing as they reunited. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. Usopp called out. Luffy-san, I missed you so much. Brook exclaimed. You guys are looking buff. Frankie commented. Finally. Before Sanji could finish, he spotted 4 beauties on the ship, each unique and gorgeous. Blood shot from his nose, and he went flying. Luffy, anticipating this, grabbed him with his stretchy arms. A beauty. Sanji moaned, feeling like he was in heaven. Hey, Chopper, you take care of him, Luffy said, tossing the problem to Chopper. Frankie was ready to show off his physique to Luffy, who totally missed the memo on men's romance. Nami and Robin gave Luffy a thumbs up for that. Mid-conversation, a cannonball whizzed towards them, and Luffy casually pulled out the dead tree. Zoro's eyes widened. He wanted to ask Luffy about the 2 swords at his waist. Hey, Luffy, you know swordsmanship? Oh, Rayleigh taught me a little. Lunar Goddess Slash. Luffy sliced the incoming cannonball to pieces. Chapter 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The enemy was in full-blown panic. Rayleigh taught me this. Luna Slash. Luffy yelled, slicing the incoming cannonballs out of the air. Usopp, peering through his telescope, exclaimed, 3 warships. Seriously? We're gonna get blown to smithereens. No sooner had he spoken than 3 more cannonballs came screaming towards them. We're done for. Usopp cried. Suddenly, the cannonballs turned to stone mid-air and plummeted into the sea. The Navy was dumbfounded. What just happened? That's the 9 snake pirates. Hancock strolled onto the deck of her ship. Who dares park their warships in my way? Back on the Sunny. That's the mark of the 9 snakes. 9 snakes. It's a powerful all-female pirate crew led by Boa Hancock, the pirate empress and one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Robin explained. 7 warlords of the sea. Empress Boa Hancock can turn anyone who sees her beauty to stone. Whoa, she's radiant. Like she's glowing. Utterly gorgeous. Brook tossed his telescope aside, defeated. Usopp grabbed the telescope and gaped at the 9 snakes pirates. No way. Who's that stunning beauty? Stunning beauty? Where? Sanji, miraculously healed, scrambled to the ship's rail, and was instantly turned to stone. Luffy, who had been silent, remained silent. That's my wife. Is it really okay for you to look at her like this? He actually got petrified. Usopp exclaimed, even more shocked. Yuta and Bonnie noticed Luffy's quietness, realizing he was missing Hancock. Yuta stepped forward to comfort him. Luffy, remember what you said to Hancock. You'll see her again soon. Cheer up. Yeah, and this is a perfect chance. While Hancock's covering us, let's get out of here. Luffy said with a grin, glancing lovingly at Hancock. Hancock seemed to sense his gaze, turned, and threw him a wink. The wink was so powerful it knocked Brook flat on the deck of the Sunny. Everyone on the Sunny was bewildered by Luffy's nonchalant announcement. Hey! You know the 7 warlords of the sea? Nami asked, confused. Yeah, I ended up on Amazon Lily. I met them. We became friends, Luffy said, intentionally downplaying his relationship with Hancock, but Yuta and Bonnie didn't let him. Isn't Amazon Lily that legendary island with only women? It's actually real. Usopp wondered. Hey, are you really just friends with Hancock? Bonnie teased. Bonnie, of course we're friends, just close friends who slept together for 2 years. Yuta added, giggling. What? The crew of the Sunny exploded in a frenzy. Sanji, looking utterly devastated, grabbed Luffy by the collar. You slept with the pirate empress? Tell me you were training diligently. I trained really hard, Luffy confirmed. Look at me. Why am I so cursed? So, Luffy, you and the pirate empress are, like, boyfriend and girlfriend? We're basically engaged, Luffy stated matter-of-factly. The pirate empress, huh? I wonder if there's any chance of seeing how thick she is. Ow. Luffy, why did you hit me? Keep those thoughts to yourself unless you want to be turned to stone, Luffy snapped, his expression turning menacing. "Alright, everyone, battle stations. Let's get going," Nami ordered, no longer fazed. She knew Luffy wasn't the same guy he was 2 years ago. He'd grown up. Usopp, however, was puzzled. Why hadn't the navy on the island shown up yet? Just as he thought it, a yellow blur zipped through the sky at incredible speed. Luffy leapt up and kicked at the blur. "Long time no see, brother-in-law. So, what do you think about what I said about the war on the top?" "Well, Sakazuki's really good at ordering people around. Sorry, Straw Hat Luffy, I still like to fish in the navy." The Sunny's crew was aghast. "It's Kizaru. Why's an admiral here?" "Nami, dive. Now." Yuta ordered, seeing Luffy toss down a flying thunder god kunai. "But Luffy." Nami began, but Luffy interrupted. "Nami, full speed ahead. I can get back." Seeing his resolve, Nami gave the order to dive. "Not so fast. Yasukani no Magatama." Kizaru, having shaken off Luffy, prepared to unleash a wide-range attack. Fire Fist. A wall of flames intercepted Kizaru's attack. Luffy and Kizaru turned to see the Whitebeard pirates approaching on the sea. Luffy grinned. "Ace. Luffy, get going. We'll handle Kizaru." While the Whitebeard pirates no longer had Whitebeard, they were still a force to be reckoned with. "Well, that's scary. Guess we can't easily arrest Straw Hat Luffy today," Kizaru muttered, eyeing Luffy with apprehension. This kid's getting stronger. I gotta ask Sakazuki for a raise. The Straw Hats, already underwater, were worried about Luffy. Bonnie, pointing at the flying thunder god mark, reassured them, as long as that thing's there, Kizaru can't keep up with Luffy's speed. "Don't worry. By the way, didn't any of you watch the broadcast of the war on the top?" "Nope." Everyone shook their heads, even Yuta. Since joining Luffy, Bonnie had drastically improved her behavior. Above, Luffy faced Kizaru. "See you later, old man. But I'd advise you to retire while you still can. Tell Red Dog to wait for me." With that, Luffy vanished. Kizaru watched him go, feeling helpless, then sighed and ran away from the approaching Whitebeard pirates. Luffy teleported back to the ship, much to everyone's relief. They really had no idea just how powerful Luffy has become. On the Sabaody archipelago, the navy was being harassed by all sorts of bizarre phenomena, including giant insects, ghosts, inexplicable rain, gender-swapping attacks, and oversized birds. Jean Tomer stood helpless as Silver's Rayleigh blocked his path. What could he do? He had no choice but to let them go. But he still had to report it to headquarters. Meanwhile, on Punk Hazard, a man in a spotted beret smiled knowingly. "Looks like the Straw Hat's about to stir things up again. The new world is about to change." Back on board, Luffy began to recite his declaration, the one that said he was going to have his way based on his memories. Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man beamed. Sabaody archipelago. Vanished in the blink of an eye. Little monkey and everyone's gotten so much stronger. Xia Chi lit a cigarette. "You saw it all, huh?" "Yep, I'm a fan." "You zoning out, Rayleigh?" Xia Chi asked, noticing Rayleigh lost in thought. "Maybe a little." Rayleigh, reminiscing about his first encounter with Roger, replied, a wave of emotion washing over him. "Perhaps there's no such thing as coincidence. Maybe everything's inevitable, all fates intertwined, weaving together a grand destiny." Without even realizing it, Luffy fits that hat better and better. Guess living a long life ain't so bad. Sunny. The surface looks so far away. Robin. This is something else. Submarines could never have windows this big. Frankie. We're diving deeper and deeper. We're really not gonna get water in here, right? I'm kinda nervous. Chopper. Feels like the world humans live in is getting further and further away. This is a rush. Nami. Are we really gonna make it back up? I'm not scared. Usopp. It's gorgeous. Yuta. Totally. Boney, Luffy, initially awestruck by the view, quickly regained his composure. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Check it out, everyone. Brook shouted, pointing towards the roots of the Sabaody archipelago. Whoa, now that I think about it, the Sabaody archipelago is a giant mangrove. Nature's off the charts. My eye sockets are about to explode, even though I don't have eyes. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Brook chuckled with his signature joke. Been there, done that. Zoro said coolly. Sanji, instantly transforming into a shark-faced frenzy, snapped, "You're on the wrong damn ship. Shut your trap. I'm moved, damn it. These tree roots reach all the way to the ocean floor. It's indescribably massive. Whoa, fish. They look tasty." Luffy spotted a school of fish, instantly wanting to catch them. "Yeah, there are some decent-looking fish here too," Zoro replied impassively. Before anyone knew it, the two were about to fight, but Chopper and Usopp punched the two in the head. "Knock it off. What if you pop the bubble? I'm being gentle and helping you both. Don't do it again. Ms. Nami, please brief these guys on the ship's safety precautions before they do something stupid," Sanji requested, turning his head. "Okay, Sanji," Rayleigh gave me the notes. "Everyone, listen up." Nami puffed out her chest. "It's moving. Her flesh and blood beauty is moving." Sanji's nose erupted, threatening to breach the bubble and flood the ocean. "Boney, he's a pervert." "Seriously?" Yuta and Bonnie stared at Sanji, dumbfounded. "Sanji. It's gonna burst. It's gonna burst. Your nosebleed is too much." Usopp yelled in alarm. Sanji's nose continuing to erupt. "Incredible. This bubble isn't just durable enough to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep sea, but it also allows objects to pass right through it." Robin mused, ever the analytical one. "TSK, whatever." Luffy scoffed. He extended his arm, snagged Sanji in the ocean, and yanked him back. Afterward, he transfused over a dozen bags of blood into him. "What's up with you, Sanji? Your resistance to beautiful women's gone way down." Usopp. "This is not like you." Chopper. "What's happened to our lovesick Sanji the last couple of years? If he sets eyes on a mermaid, he'll probably die from blood loss. I fear for the future." Brook. "We're gonna need blood donors on Fishman Island. Wonder if mermaid and fishman blood is compatible with humans." Chopper sighed helplessly. "Sanji gonna get blown to Little Ivan's place." Luffy said playfully. "Little Ivan?" "Yeah, the queen of the Okama, she's my savior. I would have died and impelled down if it wasn't for her. Her kingdom, Kamabaka, is known as the Second Daughter Island, but the island's full of Okama." Luffy seemed nostalgic. "That's a death sentence for Sanji." Usopp said. "Nami, Robin, you two better put on your coats, or Sanji's gonna lose it. And I'll get jealous too." Luffy whispered the last sentence in Nami's ear. He stunned her and made her laugh. Both of them put on their coats. Based on what happened just now, the bubbles in the Sabaody archipelago have the same properties as the ones on the Sunny. How can you be so calm and analyze bubbles? Usopp shouted, even more bewildered. It's true. Just as Robin said. Nami went on to explain that there was a 70% chance of sinking before reaching Fishman Island. Usopp and Chopper, terrified, began to run around the ship. Luffy, still eyeing the fish, muttered, "I'm gonna use the Moon Cold Arrow or the Gum Gum machine gun. That group's not getting away. Let's see who catches the most." Zoro grinned, equally eager. "Want me to stop them?" Luffy? Zoro?" Yuta jumped down from Luffy's special seat, noticing 2 more bumps on the heads of the 2. Didn't you hear Nami? I told you not to punch so many holes. Usopp. Be careful, I'll tie you up and flatten you. Don't do it again. Chopper. Damn it, Hachi said he'd take us to Fishman Island. I thought we were gonna get there safe. Usopp and Chopper were terrified, tears streaming down their faces. Let's eat first. Sanji's out of it anyway. Hancock packed a ton of lunches. Let's dig in. Luffy pulled over a large bag. At this moment, Frankie grew serious. Nami, the Zero ship is stable. We're needed. Everyone in position. No sweat, I think it'll stay like this for a while. Then there's still time. I need to tell you all something. Knowing Frankie was about to talk about Kuma, Luffy patted Boney. He went to the center and sat down with Boney. Usopp and Chopper stared at each other. You're not gonna talk about the robot's secret, are you? They circled around Frankie, but Frankie clearly had other plans. Nah, afraid not. I'm not gonna talk about that. Just listen while you eat, everyone. Turns out Hachi, who promised to take us underwater, got seriously injured in the Sabaody archipelago, same reason as Duval. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was beaming, but Frankie wasn't buying it. Nah, not really. I'll just talk while we eat. Remember Hachi, who was gonna take us to the bottom of the ocean? He got messed up during the shampoo incident and is laid up on Fishman Island with Dabaru. He got hurt protecting the Thousand Sunny while it was docked there. About a year ago, the Marines found the Sunny. There was a huge fight, and he took a beating, going out in a blaze of glory. Wait, the ship's still in one piece. Usopp choked on his lunch. Because there was another guardian. Another guardian? Everyone except Luffy looked at Frankie, confused. The guy who broke us up 2 years ago, the warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma. When I showed up to find the Sunny, I couldn't believe my eyes. Frankie said, recalling the events. Bonnie shivered, and Luffy patted her arm. The Sunny was untouched. Rayleigh filled me in later. You guys probably sensed it too. Kuma saved us. According to what Kuma told Rayleigh before we got separated. I don't know what they had on him, but the Navy was turning him into a cyborg, an experiment. Before the war, he made a deal that his personality would be wiped clean. But even if we were split up, we couldn't have foreseen what would happen to us afterwards. Still, he waited by the ship even while losing his mind. Chopper asked. He made a deal with Vegapunk, the surgeon in charge of the transformation. He set a mission as a pre-programmed order. He had to guard the ship until a Straw Hat showed up. So for 2 years, even without his memories, he waited for us, a human weapon carrying out his programming. That's insane. Why would he do that for us? Zoro asked. Because Kuma's a good guy at heart. The tyrant thing is just the Navy's spin, Luffy said, stroking Bonnie's hair. Luffy, I'll never forgive him. It's all his fault. Bonnie cried, burying her face in Luffy's chest. He patted her gently on the back. Bonnie? Everyone looked puzzled. Okay, let me introduce these two again. This is Jewelry Bonnie, one of the supernovas, and she's Kuma's daughter. She's also a benefactor, get it? Luffy said, looking at Yuta, continuing, Yuta, the friend I grew up with. She was a musician with the Red Hair Pirates and Shanks's adopted daughter. You've all heard of the singer Yuta. That's her. What? Even Robin looked surprised. These two were kind of a big deal. Seeing Bonnie still crying, everyone tried to comfort her. Hey, I promised I'd help Uncle Kuma get his memories back. Stop crying. You'll mess up your makeup, Luffy teased, making Bonnie giggle. Seeing that things had calmed down, Frankie went on, anyway, Kuma's the reason these 2 years were possible for us. We can't ask him what he was really thinking now. But remember, he's our greatest benefactor. Even if we see him again, he'll just be a mindless weapon. That's all I wanted to say. Benefactor? Sanji piped up. Is Kuma really a benefactor? Do you know where I was for the past 2 years? What you been training in a heaven full of women, Luffy. Okay, Sanji. Whatever you went through, let's just enjoy the new journey. How about a song? Brook said, trying to smooth things over. Don't encourage me. It'll just make me feel worse, that the others finished eating and were watching the whales swim by. After Usopp finished, he seemed to notice something behind them, urgently warning everyone, hey, are you still watching whales? There's a 70% chance we're gonna sink. Something's coming up behind us. A sea monster? No. Guys, there's a ship shadowing us. It's coming right at us. Everyone was shocked. Before they could react, the ship rammed into the Sunny. The bubbles around the hull were about to burst. Brace yourselves. Hard to starboard. Luffy spotted the manatee. Looking to Nami, he said, hey, Nami, is that the manatee from Arlong Park? Nami went over for a closer look. Hey, Moo, it's you. The manatee recognized Nami and Luffy and remembered how they kicked his butt. He grabbed Caribou's ship and took off, leaving Caribou stranded on the Sunny. Caribou hadn't realized how bad the situation was. Alright, boys, you ready? When these guys are distracted, take them all out. Let's go. As a greeting, let's spray them with lead. Kill all the straw hats. Caribou was putting on a real clown show. Luffy and the others watched him, stone-faced. Caribou got confused when no one did anything. He turned around blankly and found no one behind him. Frankie walked over, picked up Caribou, and prepared to toss him overboard. Caribou panicked. No, please don't throw me in the sea. Anything but that, bro. Don't mess with a guy's life so easily. God's watching. I beat the god of Sky Island. Luffy said. Everyone looked surprised. What? Is that weird for me to say? He wondered. Oh yeah, Frankie, there are some sea stone handcuffs in my lunchbox. Cuff him. Sound good? Luffy is still very considerate. It was as if the devil himself was speaking as it reached Caribou's ears. This guy a devil fruit user? Frankie looked at this weirdo with a personality even more twisted than his own and decided to cuff him. Yeah, he's Caribou, a rookie with a 200 million bounty this year, and a swamp fruit guy. I saw him before. But his powers are too gross. I'm not interested, Luffy explained. Don't talk to yourself. Frankie threw Caribou, who was muttering to himself, aside. Didn't you just say you were gonna hose us down with machine gun fire and kill us all? No, that was just talk, just a figure of speech. I, Caribou, know when to play it cool. Gotta be a coward when you need to be. The Straw Hats have big bounties. It's okay to be a little cowardly. What kind of figure of speech is that? Sanji asked. Who are you? Were you the captain of that ship? Zoro asked. Huh? Roronoa Zoro? Nah, no way. How could I be the captain? Caribou knelt down. He wasn't afraid to bend over backwards. The Straw Hats weren't gonna stop him from kowtowing. I'm just a grunt in that gang. I just follow orders. Chapter 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The captain was ecstatic. Huh? Roronoa Zoro, ha, what? Me, captain? Caribou dropped to his knees. I, Caribou, am flexible. A bunch of straw hats aren't gonna stop me from groveling. I'm just a flunky, doing what I'm told. Man, I hated that other ship. Everyone stared at him, dumbfounded. Usopp just blurted out, that's the lamest excuse ever. Just cuff him. Luffy didn't want to hear it. He grabbed the sea prism stone and slapped the cuffs on Caribou, while Chopper felt sorry for the guy. Usopp, freaked out, quickly corrected Chopper. "Hey, where'd you guys even find a manatee to pull the boat?" Nami asked, walking down from the deck. "Oh, what a vision of loveliness. You must be the little thief." Caribou immediately caught 2 feet in the face. "Who said you could leer at our beautiful navigator like that? Sanji. Your eyes are disgusting. I oughta pluck 'em out." Luffy, Nami glanced at Luffy, surprised at the change in him. Normally, she figured, he would have just stood there grinning like an idiot. Sanji pulled back his foot and turned to Nami. Puff. Despite her coat, she got a nosebleed and nearly flew backward again. "This is never ending. Can't you give it a rest?" Usopp, Caribou knew better than to mess around. It was clear the navigator was the crew's favorite. He explained, "We just caught it nearby. It's standard practice for veterans to use those sea beasts to pull their boats." "Sounds good to me," Luffy said, nodding thoughtfully. "Luffy, what's gotten into you?" Nami's lip twitched. She just complimented him on his growth, and now this? Sanji was doing his stretches while staring at pictures of the 4 beauties on the ship. Nami looked at everyone and called out, "Hey, it's gonna get colder soon, everyone put on a coat. I'm getting a little chilly, too. Although, You're a skeleton, so you don't have any skin, right?" Chopper snatched the ball from Brook and sunk a 3-pointer. Brook sulked. "Mr. Chopper, please. Don't steal my lines." Then Nami, Frankie, and Brook launched into a discussion about deep currents and surface currents, with Luffy occasionally piping up. Everyone was past being shocked. Rayleigh's teaching methods were something else. After Nami finished explaining, Zoro, Usopp, and Chopper all agreed it was an incredible current. Luffy didn't chime in this time, and Nami gave him a shark-toothed grin. Suddenly, Robin announced, "Nami, we're here." Everyone rushed to her side and gazed at the scene. It looked like a giant waterfall in the ocean. Caribou was the first to spot something wrong. He saw a sun in the sea. Could it be him? "I've heard that he lives here. He's a demon who roams the ocean and is humanity's worst enemy." Desperate to avoid his own demise, he turned to the Straw Hats. "Straw Hats, turn around now. We're in trouble. There's a monster." Chopper's face went pale instantly. He was terrified. Usopp said, "What are you talking about? There's no such thing as monsters. Legends are just stories people make up." "Yep," Luffy agreed, grinning. But as soon as he said it, the expressions of the others changed. They saw something huge behind Usopp. Really, Chopper and Brook huddled together. "Cut the act, guys. Come on," Usopp said, a sense of dread building. "Look behind you." Usopp turned around, curious. He saw a massive shark glaring at them. "It's the Kraken. A huge sea monster. He's crushed entire fleets. Ships that set sail become lost souls under his legs." "Frankie. Please, I'm not ready to die. Turn around. Maybe it'll just leave if we wait a few days." Caribou, forgetting his sea prism stone cuffs, ran to the Straw Hats in a panic. "Hey, I've got an idea. How about we get him to pull the boat?" Luffy suggested. "Not bad. Yuta. Let's do it." Zoro. "What did you say, Luffy?" Usopp asked, incredulous. "I said, I want to tame him and make him pull our boat. Are you nuts? Look at it. You can't miss it. Just look at the size of him." Usopp grabbed Luffy by the chin. "I don't know how many centuries he's been around. He's Clark from the legends. He's practically a fantasy. A creature without bones and a skeleton without flesh. The exact opposite of me." Brook swung lazily on the swing. "The drawing's pretty close," Frankie said, looking at the sketch in Robin's hand. You don't see one of these every day. If you're gonna do it, you got a plan, Luffy? Zoro asked, reaching for his sword. Luffy looked at Caribou with a sinister grin. I said Caribou, you have coral bubbles, right? Get them out, or I'm throwing you overboard to feed the fish. As he spoke, the Kraken rushed toward them. Luffy and Zoro braced themselves to attack. Usopp held Zoro back while Luffy used his Thunder God powers to dodge, yanked out a dead tree, and charged into the water. Idiot! Luffy, don't you know you're a devil fruit user? Nami shouted. Don't worry, Nami. Luffy isn't afraid of seawater anymore, Yuta reassured her. Caribou frantically pulled out the coral bubbles and gave them to Zoro and Sanji. They blew the bubbles and dove in. Everyone on the Sunny watched with bated breath. Luffy had reached the Kraken. The Kraken ignored the little gnat at first, focusing on the Sunny. Like I'd let you. Water breathing technique, 7th form, droplet wave pierce. The Kraken's tentacles froze just as they were about to hit the Sunny, and shattered into pieces. Oops, went a little too far. Enraged that its attack had been thwarted, the Kraken launched its tentacles again. But Luffy wasn't about to let that happen. He channeled energy into his hand and a bow formed in his hand. Moon Goddess Bow. Moon Star Arrow. Luffy pulled the bow back as far as it would go, and a golden arrow appeared between his hands. With a whoosh, the arrow pierced another of the Kraken's tentacles. The Kraken had had enough of this pesky human interfering with his meal, and he changed targets, zeroing in on Luffy and the other two.